afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition covering President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's inauguration of the second phase of the fertilizers complex in Ain al-Sukhna. The new inaugurations aim to maintain Egyptian leadership in the global fertilizers market and is a major value addition to the Egyptian phosphorus industry. The second phase of the complex is dedicated to producing nitrogen fertilizers and consists of 6 giant factories. The complex was implemented by Nasr Company for Intermediate Chemicals. Head of Nasr Company, Major General Ihab Abdel Samia, said the fertilizers produced in Ain Sukhna complex meet domestic demand and is also exported to 56 countries worldwide. Addressing the inauguration ceremony, Abdel Samia said that the newly inaugurated plants aim to achieve Egypt's 2030 strategy and will assist in the implementation of under construction mega-national projects to expand agricultural land. The fertilizers complex was constructed with the expertise of a global consortium specialized in industrial corporations, including the Egyptian Petrojet and German Thyssen Group. Welcome back, and to shed more light on the significance of this project, we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mohamed Roshdi, economic expert. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon for you and our audience. And thanks for this invitation.
It's our pleasure, sir. Dr. Roshdi, President Sisi on Wednesday witnessed the inauguration of the second phase of the fertilizers complex in Ain al-Sukhna. How do you see the significance of this project, sir?
In my humble opinion, the nitrogenous fertilizer complex in Ain al-Sukhna includes, as far as I recall, 6 mega factories to produce nitrogenous fertilizers. And I believe that this is one of the most important and the crucial things to enhance our economy and enhance our GDP structure. As you know, and our audience, the GDP structure for any country includes 3 important things, which is the agricultural part, the industrial part, in addition to the service part. And in this project, we are focusing on all of them. And actually, the complex is implemented by one of the most international German companies and cell production multinational conglomerate in partnership with Egypt Petrojet, as far as I recall. The factories with a total production capacity, as far as I recall, up to 1.7 million tons per year of phosphorus, potassium and nitrogen fertilizer to serve the agriculture sector in Egypt. And as you know, and our audience, the agriculture part is the most important part for any country, because if you couldn't own your basic needs food, you couldn't own your decision. And in my humble opinion, this is one of the most strategic projects that our presidential leadership is focusing on nowadays. This is in addition to the industrial part also. Nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium, or NPK, are the big 3 primary nutrients in commercial fertilizers. The surplus in production will be exported to nearly 56 countries. And as you know, and our audience, that the government has one of the most important initiatives, which is to increase the non-petroleum exports to reach $100 billion, as far as I recall. And this will be one of the main pillars that will contribute in this initiative, through exporting to nearly 56 countries the surplus of the production. And the company has integrated 2 factories for the production of medical and industrial gas and a tri-generation power plant in the chemical industries complex in Abu Wash, Giza Governorate, as far as I recall. This is in addition that President Sisi integrated a new industrial complex, bringing the total number of industrial complexes of the company to 4, adding that chemical industries complex in Abu Awas Group's 23 factories. Afterwards, the contribution of national projects to achieving self-sufficiency of food and improving energy resources. A lot of things are the most important, in my humble opinion, are crucial for building the new republic, especially to focus on agriculture and renewable energies and factors. And this will help our country to bring more FDI in such mega projects.
Yes, well, sir, as you've just mentioned, the fertilizers produced in Ain Sokhna complex will meet domestic demand and is also exported to 56 countries worldwide. Now, how do you see the significance of those projects contributing to Egypt's exports to worldwide countries?
As you know, and our audience, that this will possibly contribute in increasing our exports to a lot of countries and decrease our imports, and which possibly will reflect on our balance of payment and trade balance, possibly. In addition to, it's aligned with the strategic goal to increase our non-petroleum exports to reach $1 billion. Actually, and it will reflect on the unemployment rate. It will decrease because we will create a new opportunity, new job opportunities across the the country. And it comes to top of my mind, one of the most important things that for the first time I can see easily that there's harmony between a lot of ministries and sectors, especially public and private sectors in Egypt, that working together to achieve the strategic goal for increasing non-petroleum exports and achieve our strategic goal. And this will possibly reflect, as I told you and our audience, on the unemployment rate in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, sir, the newly inaugurated plant aims to achieve Egypt's 2030 strategy and will assist in the implementation of under construction mega national projects to expand the agricultural land. Now, how do you see the significance of this project in expanding agricultural land?
I believe this will help us to be self-independent, actually, as a country to produce our food and decrease our imports, and at the same time increasing the agriculture lands or part in our country will possibly help us in a lot of things, especially that the world has faced these challenges and crises starting COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian and Ukrainian crisis and the bad impacts of climate change, adding that these challenges have negatively affected supply chains and decreased production of agriculture crops, in addition to energy price hikes and production supplies, particularly fertilizers. And this will possibly help us to have our own food and can export for other countries, especially this world, the challenges like all countries worldwide, asserting that Egyptian state was capable of providing safe, healthy and sustainable food to its people in a good way, and this is aligned with our strategic vision for 2030, Egypt 2030 vision.
Mm-hmm.
to have a sustainable life and enhance the Egyptian citizen life standards.
Right. Dr. Roshdi, in remarks made during the inauguration of new plants at the fertilizers complex, President Sisi stressed that the manufacturing sector needs huge efforts and large amounts of funds. How do you assess President Sisi's remarks with concern to funds of these projects?
In my humble opinion, that for the first time, as I told you and our audience, that there's a harmony and coordination between all sectors in the Egyptian government, public sector, private sector, that they are working closely to achieve the strategic goals and enhance the Egyptian citizen life, and this is what's happening to little bit control food prices and a lot of things, especially as you know, and our audience, there's a global inflation wave, especially in food prices and energy, and this will be the tool to keep food prices, and this will be a tool to bring more FDI, especially the government has a good initiative to bring FDI. If you have a good mega project, infrastructure, this is a positive signal that as an investor, you can come to Egypt and invest your money and you will have a great ROI, return on investment. And in addition to that, as far as I recall, our rank in the competitiveness report is enhanced and jumped for, as far as I recall, 20 places, which is possibly will help us to bring more FDI and do more mega projects, and this possibly will reflect on GDP structure and GDP growth, in addition to decreasing the unemployment rate in a good way, and this will be the reflection of the harmony between all sectors in the Egyptian government and private, in addition to the private sector, to achieve 2030 Egypt vision to have a sustainable finance, sustainable life, enhancing the Egyptian citizen life standards.
Right. Sir, President Sisi also stated that Egypt is racing against time to add new 3.5 million fadans to its agricultural land, adding that the state is working to process agricultural water waste for reuse in reclaimed lands. Now, how do you see the significance of increasing Egypt's agricultural land?
I believe that increasing the agriculture land, this will be a strategic. This is a strategic decision to save the Egyptian citizen food and decreasing our imports for food, especially that Egypt it's a good place to have a good agriculture industry actually, and as you know, and our audience, we have a lot of sources of water, and nowadays, according to our strategic vision to have a sustainable to use renewable energy and to have a sustainability, the government thinking in a smart way, in my humble opinion, with the smart way, actually, to reuse water in the new part of the new agricultural lands, and this will possibly align with our strategic vision 2030 to have a sustainable and to use the renewable energy and to recycle everything, and this is the holistic or the strategic objective for sustainability to best utilize our resources in a good way to achieve our strategic goals.
Right. Well, Sir, President Sisi has been working to provide such priorities as sufficient electricity power in order to achieve sought in industrial development. Now, how would you see the significance of this file for Egypt's development?
If you would like to, as I told you and our audience, any country, its GDP structure consists of three main pillars: the agricultural part, the industrial part, and the service part. And if you would like to focus on the industrial part and service part, you have to have good energy resources. And this is what the government is focusing on through mega projects and through enhancing the infrastructure and through depending on the renewable energy to produce electricity and replace the normal source of energy by the renewable energy. And this is aligned with our strategic goal to have a sustainable environment and to use and to go green as a global. This is a global trend, and we, by the way, we have hosted the COP27 as far as I recall, in October or November 2022, to focus on renewable energy, and this will lead us to have a competitive edge. If you would like to invest in Africa, guys calling us, this is IUS content. So a lot of countries and a lot of investors would like to enter the African continent through Egypt, and in my humble opinion, in coming couple of years, Egypt will be the most important business hub to Africa and Middle East, if God willing.
Sir, the President also asserted the importance of a robust media coverage for the implemented giant projects and calling also on universities and schools to run field trips to these new national projects. How do you see the significance of public awareness to the significance of these national projects?
This is a good question. If you would like to focus on a strategic goal, you have to let all people in any organization or country have the same vision. And this is what the government is doing nowadays. They are positioning it in a different way. It will be win-win situation for the country, for the content, for the Egyptian citizen, and how this can reflect through getting more FDI, decreasing the unemployment rate, enhancing the living, the lifestyle for the Egyptian citizen, and supporting a lot of mega projects, enhancing the health for the Egyptian citizens through increasing the health budget and the education budget. And if you would, in my humble opinion, if you would like to build a country, you have to focus on two main pillars, which is education and health. And by those things, you will build one of the most important and productive countries in the Middle East. And I believe that presidential leadership is focusing on those two main crucial hot topics for the Egyptian citizen, education and health. And it's crystal clear that a lot of new universities are opening technical or scientific universities, in addition to increasing the health budget.
Right. Well, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Mohamed Roshdi, economic expert. Many thanks for your insight. Always a pleasure having you, sir. And your viewers, now we go to a short break and we'll be right back.